Hi, I'm Julie. Let's talk about your rising sign. Now, rising signs can actually be one of the most confusing positions of the zodiac. So, yay, we're going to start with that one. But let's just dive straight into it. Now, if you are a person who feels like you don't identify with your chart, you don't think it makes any sense, you've looked it up, you don't agree with it, you might want to go ahead and check out the video that I did on why you don't identify with your astrology chart. I'm going to put a link to it here, and that may help to sort out a few things for you, and then come back to this video so we can talk about what a rising sign is and why it might either be helping or confusing you when it comes to your chart. So if you think about the sun rising in the morning, your rising sign is the first thing that people see in you, or the first impression that they get of you when they first meet you. So this rising sign position is literally the position of first impressions. And here's where this can get really confusing. If your rising sign is very compatible with the other signs in your major six, especially your sun and your moon sign, then you are going to feel in general that people get you. Like, you're not going to have a lot of this, I don't understand why they think this or that about me, because people are going to get a fairly accurate first impression of you. So, funny enough, my sun sign, moon sign, and rising sign are all in Aquarius. So you're going to get the same side of me, whether you're meeting me for the first time, whether you're a good friend of mine and you've known me forever, or whether you are like my spouse or best friend in the whole world. You're going to get the same version of me every time because all of those placements are in the same sign for me. The second variation here is that you're going to have a rising sign that is just chef's kiss complementary to the other signs in your chart, especially your sun and moon. So it may not be who you are all the time, but it goes well. So I read somebody's chart the other day, and their rising sign was in Aquarius, which is it's a zodiac sign that tends to be very intellectual, very polished, very knowledgeable. Okay. And their sun sign was in Taurus, which is a very calm, earthy sign, one of a lot of, we're going to get there when we get there, slow and steady wins the race, very peaceful energy. And their moon sign was in Cancer, which is very loving and compassionate sort of a sign. And this person just happened to work in home health, same as me in my day job. And I was just cackling because I was like, this could not be more perfect. That Aquarius rising sign is really giving people such a great first impression of you when you first go into their home, that you are smart, that you're capable, you're going to present yourself as very well organized, we're going to do this, this, and this. They're going to build trust with you immediately. And that's going to be very well backed up by this sun in Taurus and moon in Cancer placement, because in that setting, you need to have a lot of patience. A lot of compassion goes a long way. When your patients feel that you truly care about them and that you're willing to get in there and work with them towards their goals, they just love you to pieces for it. So even though that Aquarius wasn't represented anywhere else in her chart, it was such a beautiful complement to the other positions that it just went really, really well. Okay, but here's where it gets tricky, is sometimes your rising sign can give a little bit of a misinterpretation or an inaccurate representation of who you are. And it can cause people to expect things out of you that you don't feel very aligned with. And then it can leave you feeling very confused and sometimes even overwhelmed. Like, I don't understand why this person is putting this on me. I don't understand why they're expecting this of me. So I'll give you an example. I had somebody else's chart that I read recently, and their rising sign was in Capricorn. Capricorn is an earth sign, but it's also like a very determined, very capable, very getting things done. It's leadership, but from an extremely well thought out and well planned place. And it is also a fairly headstrong position. Like, it's the mountain goat, right? So it's we're gonna get up this mountain. And so that was the first impression that she tends to give people, is like very strong, very capable, very determined, very driven. But her sun sign was in Cancer, which is a water sign, a sign that's very emotional, very nurturing, very loving, very kind of home focused, and just like very in tune with people's emotions. And her moon sign was in Pisces, which is another emotional sign, water sign. Pisces is one that tends to just feel everything, and can be very, I kind of lovingly say that Pisces are like Sour Patch Kids. You know, it's like you get the sweet and the sour. It's a little bit of everything, but it's very emotional, and it can be, people with Pisces placements, especially in those sun or moon positions, can be very easily drained by a lot of socializing or a lot of expectation. They can be easily overwhelmed by having too much expectation placed on them. So you can see where there could be a lot of conflict between the way that she comes across to people when she first meets them versus what she truly feels capable of, and where her true limits are, and where her real boundaries need to be. And so there's nothing you can do about the fact that that's how you come across to other people. I mean, you can understand that that's how you come across, and you can try to modulate it a little bit, but it's really more about being more communicative, understanding this is just how I naturally come across to people. I'm not doing it on purpose. It's just part of who I am. It's part of my personality. But I also understand myself well enough to know that it's kind of giving a conflicting, energy here, that I need to be proactive about managing. I need to understand that there's going to be a little bit of a mismatch, and I need to be proactive about managing the expectations of other people around me. And this can go in a lot of different ways too, right? Because you could have a rising sign that's, very emotional and very kind of maybe a softer aspect. Maybe you do have that Cancer rising and you come across as having a lot of emotion. And so maybe people do label you as, oh, that she's so emotional or he's so emotional. But when you get into the sun sign and the moon sign and all these others, there's a lot of power there, and you're like, I don't understand. Like, people don't give me a chance. They tend to write me off as this, but I'm this, and I want to be able to do this. I want them to see me this way. I want them to identify with these parts of me, right? So it can be completely the opposite. So it's so important to understand how all those things work together, and how you can manage the image and the expectations. And also just give yourself a break on, like, I really always want to make sure people understand you are not tricking people. You are not pulling one over on people. You are not lying to people. You are not doing anything wrong if if you come across to people in a way that's different than how you typically feel. But it's just important to understand that that's how you come across. And once you understand that about yourself, you can manage it however feels best to you. So if you need a little bit of help with this, if you're not really sure what these signs are for you or what they mean or how they come across, and you'd like me to help you walk through your chart and better understand those things, then book a reading with me. There's a link in the description or the comments, and I would be more than happy to go through all of that and help shed some light for you. Okay? Up next, we're going to be talking about your sun sign. So stay tuned for that video, and I'll see you in it. Bye.